Okay, so in this video I want to talk about the different ways in which MATLAB, I guess the way you can interact with MATLAB in the current setup, and I guess based on the recommendations given in the homework assignment. And we'll be doing this for a few homework assignments going forward here. But this description you'll find talks about essentially, well, I'm trying to figure this. So essentially I may come up with more later, might combine in them, but basically four ways to run MATLAB as I see it. The first one is you download a version that you actually run on your machine, so the calculations are done on your machine, and that's probably the most foolproof way, right? You'll know that you have the full working of MATLAB. The next similar option to that is you're actually running it on like a UIC owned computer, so in a computer lab somewhere. And all computer labs, all machines should have MATLAB on it. And so that's where I'll start first. But then there are two other options I'll talk about next. And I'll actually just be kind of working through this example, and I haven't really prepared anything in terms of, I might have some hiccups along the way, but I just want to show you like generally how MATLAB is built, and then how these other two options are different, and along the way we might have some surprises. So if I open MATLAB, right, so let me go back to here. To download, to get this working on your machine is here, right? So download, purchase a copy. You can actually purchase a student version, so you get a cheaper rate than you would if you were like a business out there, or even an academic license for, if I wanted to buy it for myself as a part of the academic world. I think you even get a cheaper version than that, right? And the idea is they are getting you trained up on using this wonderful tool, and then when you go off into the working world, you'll want to definitely use it. But it really is great. Like MATLAB is a really great combination of both programming language, so you can do a lot of programming with it in the traditional sense, combined with a lot of data analysis predefined tools. So quickly getting data into a program and then plotting it, modifying it, plotting it again. There's really no better tool out there, which is why we're using it here, so we can visualize quickly some of these distributions and make some probability statements off of those models. Okay, so let's go into MATLAB. Now this is going to be whether you download or buy your own copy and then run it on your machine, or you're running it from an IE342 machine. This is what it should look like when you open it up. There'll be some like default folder directory that you're currently in. So I'm currently in my Dropbox folder for our class, and I made a subfolder here called MATLAB, and then I can run things here. Now this is just like a command line scripting thing where I can declare variables, and y equals 3 times x, y now equals 6, and then I could what is the value of x plus y? Well, it should be 8, right? And as I do that, variables are created over here in our workspace when we kind of look over here to say like what variables are currently there, right? So this is meant to be like in a minute describing how to do some calculations here in the command window. What we actually want to do is create scripts, and so up here there's a new script. Now your version might look a little differently, but I clicked that, and it then gave us an editor space, and now we're basically working on our files here that will run from the command window down here. So if I go back to the programming assignment and just take this is the intention for this class, is code will be pre-specified, and you kind of want to get a good idea what it is, but this is saying, oh, and my text is really big, so I can present this during class. So my fonts are a little bit big. But here, right, my function is binomial distribution plot. It takes in two parameters, n and p. I know we should format this a little bit better. Oh, those actually, there, okay. I was gonna say there's some automatic formatting, but basically we've got this function that's just this outer, let me make this bigger. This outer shell function, and then tells us that there's a function there, or there's a script so that when we run binomial distributive plot, put in different values here for n and p, we'll do this calculation. What we're doing is creating a long vector of b values. Well, what is b? That's going to be our probability values for the binomial distribution. We are then calculating them here using the bino-pdf function, and then when we run this, we should get some answers. So if I want to know the binomial distribution, first I got to save this. So then we hit save, because I haven't saved this before. Let's go, binomial distribution plot. That's good, right? Binomial distribution plot. So now that's over here. This is the folder that we're currently in, any scripts we have there. So now let's call this binomial distribution plot. That one just automatically came up. My computer is freezing. There we go. N and P, so let's do it. We'll do 20 trials. We're looking for the success rate at 0.3, so 30% success rate. And then we will get a plot, hopefully, because this bar function creates a histogram, right? And so we get, this is the PDF for a binomial distribution of 20 total trials with a success rate of 30%. So 30% of 20 is then 6, and see that's the peak or the mean of our distribution. I think if I put a little, that little probe there gives you the values. So when x is 6, the y value, so the probability of 6 is 0.196. Okay, so now this bino-pdf is built-in function. You might need like a library for that, which might come with, if you buy a student version, might come with it, might not. You might need to buy it extra. I don't know the exact details on that. So instead we could write our own function for that. Okay, so I'm copying this part of the assignment, and I'm gonna put that below. Okay, that goes down here. And what this is, I'm calculating my own bino-pdf function, which is here is our combination, factorial n, factorial x, factorial of n minus x, right? So that's that combination calculation. And then this is p to the x, and then q to the n minus x, or 1 minus p to the n minus x. So this is just calculating the templated form for the binomial distribution. And then I just come back up to our main code, and instead of calling bino-pdf, I call my own one, my bino-pdf. And I'm going to run I've got to save this. Did I save it? No, that's save as. What am I doing here? This is already saved. There would be a star here. Hold on, I must have done it without thinking, because I do that all the time. When you make a change, the little star there, that'll show you, hey, you haven't saved this yet. And then I just do Command S on Mac, or Control S if you're on Windows, and it saves it automatically. But you could be able to go up here and hit save. Now, let's go run this again. Now I'm not calling the built-in bino-pdf, I'm calling my bino-pdf, run it, and it doesn't. Let me close all first, so I get the pop-up window, run it again. Right, same exact plot, same exact calculations. In fact, it felt like it ran faster there. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so that's I wanted to just show you how MATLAB is run. This is the scenario where you download your own version on your machine, or you're running the machine on IECCC. Now let's go back to the program, or the assignment here, and see if we can try these other two options. You can also download an online student version. What that is, you're actually going to be running the calculations on a server somewhere else, and that's through Citrix. This is known to not be 100% working all the time. There's definitely some issues. This is what my Citrix looks like. So if you follow those instructions, you have to first purchase it. Well, it costs nothing. It's free. And then you start running Citrix after you've purchased it for $0, and it should show up in your apps here. This is the part where I've had students have some issues just even having it show up here, and you might need to reinstall Citrix, play around with these buttons, kind of scroll around, categories all, and eventually it shows up. But I've never had an issue where it's always not worked, right? It eventually works, but we just have to start clicking around, and we end up getting it to work. All right, so I actually have two of these versions. I'll click on the most recent one, and you'll see now we're actually running the entire app on the cloud, essentially, so somewhere else, and we are just interacting on as a GUI, right? It's more just like streaming over the command window to us. So this is a little bit of lag in the video here while this opens, but I think it's realistic. Okay, so this is that booting screen, but again, it's not actually happening on my machine. The actual app is starting up on a server. Give it a minute here. Yeah, let's stay focused. Okay, but then you see how this looks just the same. Now, I don't know what this like brings you to. It's really strange. Usually you would think that it would open up your, I forget how this works. Like there's a place that you can I create a new folder? So this, remember, is like the directory you're in. Well, we're in just like the main thing here. Some of you watching will know this more than me. Is there like users? What is this? One level up, browse for a folder. Okay, I'm gonna right click here and say make a new folder, and if it lets me do that, yeah, I don't have, you may not have permission. When we create, let's do a new script, and when we save it, I think it'll automatically give you the options there. So I'm just gonna, because we've already done it, well, let's just do it again, right? Let's see if this works. Go back to here, copy paste. Here is my Citrix, right? Copy or paste that into here, and then when I go to try to save this, let's see what it does. Documents, that's what it is. So you can go into documents. Yes, save it into documents, MATLAB. And now this is only going to be here for this current running, right? So if I go back here to actually see this, I need to go into documents. Where's documents? Is it automatically there? Let's try to run it. I did save it somewhere, but we might need to change that folder to be into documents. Let's see. Binomial distribution. Okay, so it knows about it. So it must just know, it must just be always the working copy. So let's do the same thing where it's 20 and a 0.3. It knew it was there, right? Yeah, okay. I don't really know how the file system works here, but this is it, and then you can then save this and get it on to, send it to yourself, and this should feel like working with a version on your local machine, but it is a little bit more buggy in my experience, and it can be a little bit more fidgety. So you can think of buying that student version from MathWorks or the actual MATLAB version on your machine as a little bit of an investment to maybe make your life easier, but this also works. I've had a lot of students use it successfully. You might just give yourself more time to work through some of the issues. Okay, but you can see I used Bino PDF, and so the libraries are built in here, right? That I didn't write this code, right? That's somewhere else. Okay, let's see. Can we get the last option to work? The last option is Octave Online. Now this one doesn't come with all of the libraries, so this isn't a full working version of MATLAB, but it has a lot of the same functionality, and so that's what this looks like. Octave Online. Here are your variables, so that was the workspace we had over on the right side before. If you want to use scripts, those are over here, which I think you actually have to log in somewhere. I might trim this part out of the video. Okay, I just logged into my account, and let's see, tips and tricks. See, I haven't used this very much, but I've used it before and it's worked, but this looks differently than MATLAB, so I got to get used to this. So here are the files, right? So actually that's kind of nice. It's like the same. So let's create. Oh, this. So it knew me. I have used this before. So let's make a new file. I'm going to call this, so we kind of have to call it ahead of time, binomial distribution plot.m. And there it is. Let's open that one up. Display hello world. Nope, we want to overwrite that with it was still in my clipboard here. So I just copy pasted that. Now again, I'm using Bino PDF. It's probably not going to work in this case, right? So let's write binomial distribution plot, call it with 20 and 0.3, and let's see, right? Invalid call to script. What happened there? Did I not save this? Am I not in the right directory? Or did I call it something different? Binomial distribution plot. Save. Maybe I need to save it. But it gave a different error as... Oh, there it goes. So it just, I never saved it. Okay, there we go. Bino PDF function belongs to the statistics package, which you have installed but not loaded. Oh, so it is there. Isn't that great? So we have to load it. So I'm just, well, here, I'll copy paste this. Man, that's good. They've updated the functionality here. Now let's run this again, and there we go. Look at that. And so then you should be able to then, I don't know how to actually get, maybe screenshot. Maybe you can save this to a file, but definitely you can have a way to access this. Let's see here. Move this over here. Do a screenshot of this, right? I wonder if you can make the axes. We can start tweaking the axis on this. So let's put an X label. Is how to label. So this is X. All right, recreates the file. I think we could then set the font size of, well, the whole, I think this would be GCF. This gets your current figure, get current figure is what it means. It's a handle for it. And we can make the font size bigger? No, it doesn't know. Unknown figure property. Maybe it's the A, get current axis. There we go. See how it made the fonts bigger, right? So it will keep reproducing this plot, and then there's probably a way you can figure it out to actually save this, but a screenshot would work just fine. What does this do? Expand plot window. Oh, look at that. There it was. Oh, so it created up here. It got me the plot window. So now if we tweak it, I think it'll... So if I put a Y label in there... See, I'm just figuring this out as I go. Y should produce the Y... Okay, so this then you can use to save. I see. So now let's do this again. There is now Y. Now you can save it as a PNG. Okay? All right, so I think that's where we'll leave it. Good luck. Explore the different options, see what works best for you, and I'm looking forward to seeing your submissions to the homework.